Uh, Hello, welcome to Alhambra Unified School District's meetings with the candidates. Today we have with us Arambula, or Ari Gutierrez Arambula from District 1. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this brief interview with us. I'm Dylan Umana.
I'm Sunny Chu.
I'm Eric Lee.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So to begin, our first question would be if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your plans as a city council member.
Sure. I would consider myself a first generation daughter of an immigrant parent. I am a graduate from college and first generation graduate from college and graduate school. I identify as Latina, as lesbian, as a wife, a mom, and a corporate professional. I'm also an activist for social justice, which is part of the reason that I want to run for office and serve Alhambra with a lot of the experience that I've had doing social justice work over the last 30 years. In terms of what I would like to do for Alhambra, my main focus is to represent the interests of the neighbors, of what the community people want. Alhambra has a lot of outside influences, people who want to make a lot of money with development and to, basically for them to make money regardless and then take a profit and leave, and then the residents get left with whatever it is they make their money on. So I want to be able to advocate on behalf of the community and the residents so that Alhambra continues to be a great city for all of us to live. I would prefer for you as students and for my daughter when she grows up to be able to live here if she wants to be able to afford to live here because she could get a good job or she could also work in the city. So those are the type of things that are important to me, and being able to clean up Alhambra in a way that so that we can revitalize our downtown entertainment area. So we don't want for the elevators to be broken, the light fixtures to not just for it to be dirty. We don't want that because these are visitors to our city. So we want to make sure it presents well and people come back. And then also the other thing that is important to me is to make sure that we create local jobs, affordable housing, and also so that, like I said earlier, students would be able to afford to live here in their own hometown after they graduate.
Thank you for your response. Moving on to our second question, we want to know what would you see as the major issue in the city of Alhambra for the next 4 years?
Yeah, so one of the biggest issues that Alhambra faces is, first of all, recovering from COVID. We're still a little slow on the business side. We need to get everybody back on board. Also, some of our meetings for city council, not all of them are in person. We need to do public engagement on anything that we end up working on. But I would like to be able to work on projects. We're going to have major issues include affordable housing, all that stuff. But I also want to be able to introduce issues that for students, for example, recreation. I know, for example, Alhambra High School, right in front of City Hall, there's always skateboarding and all that going on there. I'm like, we should have a skate park for our youth to be able to have a safe space to do that and not get shooed away, whenever somebody decides they don't like it. And also, our parks, we have some nice parks, but there's not enough. We do have a golf course, but it would be great to be able to have programming at our schools tie in with our recreational facilities. For example, is there a golf team? Can we make one? What about skateboarding? teams, things like that, that we could incorporate, kind of help the city, help the school, and have a place for the youth to be able to spend their time in a positive way. And so another big issue that the city faces is transportation. And transportation is kind of a big picture issue, and it includes like creating bike lanes, making sure it's safe to walk. If people take the bus and they want to be safe getting on and off the bus, you want to be able to access stores safely. So with that also comes the bike lanes, and it would be nice to be able to have bike lanes that are not only focused on people who are commuting to work, but also for students to be able to get to school, or if they want to go to the park or they want to go to their friend's house, they should be able to either walk there or take the bus. Take the bus or walk there, take the bus, or ride their bike. But right now it's just not safe to do that in Alhambra. So those are the type of things, quality of life things, that we want to focus on.
That is a very thoughtful response. I like that you have different ideas revolving around issues. So our final question is, what would you like to say to students in Alhambra Unified School District?
Well, I mentioned earlier that I worked in social justice. I was fortunate enough, but also kind of challenged to be able to create a nonprofit which works with young people. It's LGBT people, so part of that is addressing policy in the schools around LGBT issues. But also, what I've learned in doing that work is that students face challenges. For example, what are their rights if they get in trouble, and are they going to get suspended right away? How can they defend themselves? And we don't want for a school to be the place that pushes students to the school through the schools to jail pipeline. If you haven't heard of that, it has to do with kids getting in trouble for things at school, and then all of a sudden they get suspended, they get expelled, and then what happens? They end up getting in trouble in other ways. So we want to be able to have, not only for the kids to know their rights, their civil rights in the school environment, but also how to make things right. If somebody makes a mistake, what can they do to make it right? If they get in trouble with the law, there's expungement. Do they know how to do that? If they get in trouble at school, do they or do their parents know how they can help fix things and not get expelled, and get back on the right track? So all that is civil rights. It's about social justice. We want to make sure that our students succeed, not only academically, but overall. We want to be able to have a good relationship with people, your friends, your family. And if you're LGBT or being bullied for any other reason, that shouldn't be happening at school. And we want to be able to help that. There's programs for that. And hopefully, when I'm in office and you help me get there, we can work with the school district on programs like that. And I know that there is programs in other schools and other districts that are working on that. So hopefully we can bring that to Alhambra as well.
All right, that was all our questions. Thank you again for taking time to speak with us today. Good luck to you in your upcoming election.
All right, and if anybody wants to volunteer, please give a call. ari4alhambra.com.